today?
My name is Elizabeth Kurt, and today I'll be talking with you about establishing healthy routines within your family. First, we'll talk about different age groups and how we can use healthy routines to meet developmental milestones. And then we'll finish up with a general discussion about healthy routines and how they can benefit your family.
The first age group we're going to talk about is establishing routines with infants and toddlers. This is a really great time of life to encourage healthy habits and introduce them early. So, this can be things like sleep training, regular meals, potty training, all of those things that are going to be important in the rest of their life. If you're establishing those habits really early, it just becomes very natural for your kids. Um, Another great reason to have routines is to help ease transitions. So, things like bedtime can be really difficult for toddlers as they don't always understand why they have to stop doing what they're doing and transition into a less fun activity. But we can always make it fun by incorporating songs or games or the idea of choice into their routine. So that can be something like offering options of, we have three things to do before bed. Which one do you want to start with first? Do you want to put your PJs on? Do you want to read a book? Do you want to brush your teeth? And that reduces power struggles and gives them a sense of control. Easing transitions can also be something like as we drop them off to daycare or school, we can help them to learn self control and regulate our emotions by having a coping plan and reminders that mom or dad will always be back. Um, Routines are also great for encouraging learning activities and meeting developmental milestones. So, if we think of our infants, things like tummy time, we have to incorporate every day. And if we have a routine for that, it's more likely to happen. And with our toddlers, we can think about things that they need to learn to do, like brushing their teeth or educational things like reading that we want to incorporate every day. So, having those in routines can be really helpful. Finally, one of the best things about routines with infants and toddlers, especially toddlers, is having some rewards and reminders. So we have all seen a potty training sticker chart or getting a treat after using the bathroom, and that can be incorporated in a lot of different ways to make the routines fun and rewarding for the little ones. Next, we'll be talking about routines with school age kids. This is a really great time to encourage age appropriate responsibilities with things like chores, homework, just hygiene routines in general. So, typically, routines help to create a sense of stability and help kids to know what to expect. We see this a lot in school. And so sometimes it can be a struggle to transition back home if there's less structure at home than there is at school. This is also a great way to increase self regulation. So, teaching our kids to take responsibility for things themselves at an age appropriate level. You can also do this slowly over time. So, you start out with the same routine, and then slowly you encourage them to do it a little bit more independently as they get older and they get more comfortable within the routine. This is also a great time to create routines around activities and time outside and reducing screen time. So, setting those expectations of screen time is from this time to this time or whatever works best for your family can really encourage learning activities, healthy time outside, spending time with friends, a lot of activities that encourage meeting more developmental milestones, social learning, education, all of those things. Um, Another way to encourage education within your routines is having visual reminders for your kids that are learning to read. So, if we've got a chart or a poster, encouraging them to learn to read it themselves is a really great way to incorporate learning into your everyday routines. This is also another time that we can put in reminders and rewards, whether they're visual reminders, timers, that sort of thing. And rewards are fun. Even making sure you're incorporating quality time together. The faster we get our bedtime routine done, the more time we get to spend together before bed. And really carving out that one on one time with your school age kids is really important as they get older and everybody gets more busy. Next, we're going to talk about routines with teenagers. As teenagers get older, they're craving that independence. And as a parent, you still want to create healthy boundaries with them. So, creating a routine together in a collaborative way allows for them to have that independence and improves your communication between the two of you. If you're able to establish clear expectations and responsibilities while giving them a choice in what that looks like, so that could be you need to have a curfew, let's have a discussion about what a healthy curfew is at your age. Can really be helpful, especially in reducing power struggles. Teenagers really crave that independence and will push boundaries in order to get that sometimes. And so, having those open lines of communication and clear boundaries that you have both agreed on really helps to make sure you're both on the same page. This can also help with the transition into adulthood. As teenagers take on more responsibility, they are able to use those skills that they learn when they are out of the house, or if they transition into college, they've got a really great foundation for being on their own for the first time. Um, these routines can center around chores, homework, having a job, that sort of thing that teenagers are going to do anyway. And setting appropriate rewards is really great too. So that can be things like having an allowance, being able to go out with friends, taking the car somewhere. Teenagers have a lot of things that they want to do. And making those rewards for good behavior, getting the things done that they're expected to, is a really healthy way to incorporate those things. Finally, I want to talk about what routines look like for parents. Parents have our own responsibilities. We've got lots of things that we need to accomplish within a day. And so it's really important to make sure that your routine and your responsibilities complement your children's. So that can be something even as simple as, if you're also a student, let's all sit down and do homework together. Or after bedtime, is when you're going to make this thing happen. And really being intentional about setting your own routines that work for you as a family. A really important thing as a parent is self care and doing the things that you enjoy. And I know so often when we feel busy, those are the first things that go. They're our last priority. But for your own mental well being and for the overall well being of your family, it's really important to incorporate those things into your routines and make them a consistent part of your life. I know as we talk about routines, all of these things are easier said than they are done, and routines can be really hard to establish. The more consistent you are, the easier they get, but it definitely is an uphill battle as you introduce the routine and try to make it a habit within your life. Routines also need to change depending on your stage of life, the time of year, all of those things. It's okay to adjust your routines as large changes come through in your life. And, we think about summer break versus having your kids in school. Routines are going to look different, bedtimes are different. Are we going to daycare? Are we going to school? Are we in clubs? There's a lot that changes from time to time, and being intentional about restructuring your routines can be really helpful as those changes occur. Another great thing with routines is you can create a collaborative approach to things that maybe your family is struggling with. So if you're all you've got an issue with something or another, you can sit down and create a routine about it or talk about how to incorporate, better communication into your current routine. So it's a really great way to work as a team with your family. Finally, routines get interrupted. We get out of the routine, we have things come up that throw everything off. That's okay. Life happens. But it's really important to be intentional about recovering those routines. So once you notice a routine is out of whack or it's been changed, trying to come up with a plan to put that routine back into action is really important, even if it means adjusting the routine. I hope this information was helpful and you and your family can create some really healthy routines. If you need any more resources or information, please contact us in our information that's in the comments below. Thank you.